Hi, my name is Gore. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of Interview with the Vampire coming out October 2nd. This is the second trailer. The first trailer is up on my YouTube page where I do a breakdown of that. And I'm not going to go into all the context that I go into on that one. So if you want to know more context about what's going on with this series, you can check out that video first. Basically, I'm a huge fan of the books, and they're making a TV series about it. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. So I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to just start playing trailer number 2. Interview with the Vampire.
I can swap this life for a dark gift.
Here, Barry.
I offer, for your journalistic pleasures, my life story.
So, how long have you been dead?
So we had discussed in my Discord that maybe Daniel and Louis are broadcasting this interview rather than it being just a recording. So I'm wondering if that's what's actually happening, because I think the person who brought that up in my Discord might be right about that. I don't know, it just seems, that introduction seemed a little strange.
The year was 1910. My business was desire.
Let me introduce you to Mr. Lestat de Liancourt.
I know who you are, sir. We're destined to be very good friends.
I'm assuming you only met at night.
It's New Orleans. Days are for sleeping off the previous evening's damage.
So here Lestat is playing a poker game, and I think this is kind of to show off Louis that he can use these little mind games, these little mind gift tricks, because in another trailer, Lestat is using his mind gift to make everybody freeze in place, and he's doing this in front of Louis, so I think that these two scenes do connect, and so I think this might be the scene where Louis figures out that Lestat is some kind of supernatural being, but he's not quite giving it all away just yet. He's kind of just teasing him and, seeing how he feels about it.
That's your thing, then? You like to watch?
I've been watching you for some time now. I can swap this life of shame. Swap.
Sorry, the slapping the hand keeps getting me. So this looks to me like Louis is going to get turned in a church, which is very symbolic in itself. I have no words. I can't even come up with anything better than that, honestly, for an Interview with a Vampire TV show. So that would be really, really interesting.
Put out for a dark gift.
So Lestat has these dilated eyes, and I've noticed this a couple of times, that I think that they get dilated like this when they're feeling some kind of intense emotion. His eyes also look very red, so I'm thinking that he might have been crying. I hope they're blood tears. I really hope they're blood tears. But yeah, I think that that's what that means, is they have this intense emotion.
Let the tale seduce you, just as I was seduced.
There was a boy.
He was my...
So there was another scene from the first trailer of Lestat seeing Louis, and he kind of takes off his hat, and I was thinking that that's the first time he sees him, but I think this scene is the first time that Lestat sees Louis. This is a lot more intense. So we saw Louis in the rain, and he's drinking, and then Lestat comes out onto his balcony, and he sees Louis for the first time, and it's also raining in this scene, so I think these two scenes also correspond. So I think Lestat is seeing Louis for the first time in this shot.
A murderer, my mentor, my lover, and my maker. a very strange enchanted boy. It was as if I could finally receive the secrets of existence.
Your eyes. I could search window.
I was not yet ready to hunt, but desperate to feed.
It's best to let the food come to you.
You're not welcome in this home.
So Louis's family, I feel like is not even I feel like I basically know that they're gonna they've mentioned it many times that his family is going to play a bigger role. I think that will be really interesting because, you know, living with another man, the presumption that he's gay, having Claudia out of wedlock, if they are because they are calling Louis her father. So I'm wondering what his relationship is going to be like with his family, with his new family, his new vampire family versus his human family. And I think he's going to get very divided there.
This is how it has to be.
And, go back a little.
You're not welcome in this home. This is how it has to be.
So here's Louis. I'm assuming it's Paul's funeral. So I think this is kind of the breaking point for his family is they are suspecting of him being involved in his death, just like it is in the books. His family thinks that Louis has something to do with Paul's death, and I think that's also going to happen here. So that's kind of the first turning point, is his family is kind of turning away from him, and so he looks to something else that can fill that. So yeah.
I don't want to kill people.
You're a vampire.
I could not save myself, but I could save her.
And it looks like Claudia, I think she's still an orphan or something. But this is interesting that Louis wants to save Claudia rather than basically running away from her, which is what he does in the original book and movie. And here.
She'll be what? A daughter?
So Lestat is asked by Louis. Louis is asking Lestat to make Claudia, which makes for a really interesting dynamic, because if Louis is asking Lestat to make Claudia, then that means that Lestat basically was like, well, okay, yeah, I'll do it. If this means that you're going to stay with me, then yes, I'll do it. So as to make him not seem so much like the villain, as which makes sense because Lestat did not get consent to become a vampire. It's his whole thing is that he asks Louis if he can make him into a vampire because he wants that consent. He didn't get a choice, and so to kind of make it so that Claudia sort of I'm trying to think of what I'm saying here, but you know what I mean, that there's an interesting dynamic of Lestat needing that consent as for vampirism, and Louis asking him to make her. It's going to be an interesting dynamic.
We're a family.
She is poisoning you against me.
You two have each other.
I really love this. I think this might be a reference to Louis and Lestat's dance scene in the book Blood Communion, or it could be a coincidence. I actually don't know, because that's a much, much further book. They did say that there were going to be references, though, to the later books. So this might be a reference to that.
Who am I supposed to love?
This is not a life! You took my life!
So Claudia is saying, who am I supposed to love? And so she wants to find her own companion. Thankfully, it's not Louis this time, like in the book. We don't want to see that. So she's going to try to find her attachment with somebody else. and I think she is going to struggle with that because of, her small body. There's an interesting... Oh, so again, with the dilated eyes, to show that really intense emotion. Also, Lestat's bleeding on the neck here, so I'm wondering if Louis and Lestat had a little spat and they were just kind of biting each other in the middle of their fights. I don't know. That's just a thought.
You took my life!
Yeah, so Lestat is a actor, or he was an actor before he became a vampire. So I'm wondering if this is in reference to that, about his need to be on the stage. He's obviously, dressed up in makeup. Looks like he has a braid on too, so I don't know.
We'll be together 10,000 nights, 100,000.
Ready to begin the adventure of our lives. My companions in immortality.
I've watched this trailer a million times, so obviously I'm not showing like super intense emotion right now, but oh my gosh, it's such a good trailer. The editing is very well done. I'm really looking forward to this. I do think that it is going to be very different from the books. I think to have that world building of the vampires and the witches, the ghosts, all those people, or all those things. I think that they are going to have these characters and these storylines and kind of crisscross and make their own world building out of it, because Anne Rice did not plan on making the Vampire Chronicles. She made Interview with the Vampire, and it was supposed to be a solo book, and then she made the Vampire Lestat almost 10 years later, and then made her own world out of that with these very iconic characters. And I think that is AMC's plan, is to make it so that they could carefully do make these plot-driven devices within that world building. So that's what I think of that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.